Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today we are mapping out a super specialized, kind of minimalist, but absolutely foundational knowledge space. We're looking at Amon's AI journal. Specifically, we're going to see how it frames some really advanced concepts, things like AutoResearch and MetaHarness. You know, when you're dealing with complex, bleeding-edge artificial intelligence, the way knowledge is categorized and sourced is literally the key to actually grasping it. It's like a giant puzzle. So we're going to explore exactly how this specific resource curates all that dense information to create a really clear, structured pathway. It's designed to help us navigate some of the most advanced topics in the field right now.
Okay, let's dive into this overarching theme, distilled AI. And this concept, well, it essentially functions as the foundational philosophy for the entire journal. I mean, think about it. We are living in a landscape overflowing with thousands of new research papers, preprints, and incredibly dense data every single day. Navigating the sheer noise of it all is a massive challenge for anyone in the field. But this resource explicitly anchors itself on the idea of distillation. It's all about taking that overwhelming, massive volume of raw academic information and boiling it down, processing it into its purest, most accessible form. It makes sure the technical rigor remains 100% intact, but it completely strips away the excess fluff.
So let's walk through the actual structure of Amon's AI journal. Let's move to and see how this builds. Coming from that primary entry point, the source material gives us a super clear, logical path right down to the core content. We literally move from the root domain, step 1, directly into the broader journal repository for step 2, which then funnels us straight into a specific category called primers for step 3. And look, in the context of this journal, primers aren't just your basic 101 introductions. Actually, scratch that. They are the absolute heart of that distilled knowledge we just talked about. They act as highly focused foundational texts designed to rapidly onboard you into a deeply complex AI subfield. They filter out the noise and hand you exactly the critical signals you need to understand the landscape.
Which brings us to those specific primer topics, AutoResearch and MetaHarness.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the fundamental question it brings up for us as researchers and developers. When we utilize these incredibly specialized primers on advanced topics like AutoResearch and MetaHarness, how do we properly credit the work? You know, academic integrity gets pretty challenging, but it's absolutely crucial when you're relying on curated knowledge bases like this. Someone else has done the massive heavy lifting of synthesizing hundreds of papers into a highly usable format for us. Understanding how to formally acknowledge that massive synthesis effort, well, that is a completely non-negotiable part of the modern research workflow.
That brings us straight into our final, crucial section, the citation framework. In this framework, the focus shifts entirely from the AI concepts onto our responsibility as users. The journal leaves absolutely zero ambiguity about this expectation. It explicitly states, quote, "If you found our work useful, please cite it as." So the crucial point is that this functions as a direct, polite, but very firm call to action. It highlights a vital relationship between the creator, who distills the knowledge, and the user, us, who leverages it to save hours of time. It sets a very clear professional expectation. The utility you get out of the journal absolutely should be met with proper, formal attribution in your own subsequent work.
And this brilliantly illustrates that exact point. The journal actually leaves us with a 1-row, 4-column markdown table containing entirely empty cells. It's this wonderful bit of structural meta-humor dropped right into the source text immediately following that call to action. You can think of this stark, empty grid as a fill-in-the-blank canvas. It serves as an architectural placeholder, a literal framework, just waiting for your future academic citations to be slotted right in once the formal paper details are established by the author. It brilliantly emphasizes structure over content, essentially nudging the reader to proactively prep their bibliographies.
Finally, to tie this whole shebang together, the source provides this exact web address, www.amonshada.com. Consider this your launchpad. This URL is the foundational anchor, the central hub for literally everything we've just outlined. It's where that overarching philosophy of distillation, the highly specialized primers on subjects like AutoResearch, and those formal citation frameworks all physically live. It really is the definitive starting line for diving into the actual substance of the research. Which leaves us with one final, compelling question based on our walkthrough today. Are you ready to begin your AutoResearch? Now that you've seen exactly how this curated space is logically structured, how it prioritizes the distillation of wild AI concepts into accessible primers, and the precise framework expected for citing that artwork, well, the real journey is now in your hands. It's time to follow the breadcrumbs, hit the hub, and discover the deep technical substance within those primers for yourself. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, Keep exploring.